In this video, I want to give you a glimpse of what kind of women you can date when you do real life approaches. In the last year alone, I've dated a girl that played basketball for the Spanish national basketball team, a marketing manager that manages a huge team in Fortune 500 company, an Ivy League lawyer who was working in a company involved in Trump's trial, and a premium masseuse who once gave a massage to Robert De Niro. And what's the common thing with all these women? I approached them with no prior connection, only 200 Instagram followers, and a simple €8 t-shirt from H&M. So let me give you a bit more detail about these experiences. The Spanish basketball player. So I ran into this girl while she was sitting on a bench here on the high street. She had long dark hair and eyes and a very cute smile. We had an amazing conversation and we exchanged contact details and kept texting. However, she was not keen on coming out until one day she told me that she actually had a boyfriend. 6 months later, while I was on a trip, I suddenly got a text from her. Hey, you're still in Barcelona? And a few days later, we met up for a date, and apart from being very beautiful, she was one of the funniest girls that I've ever met. For me, if a girl has good banter and good back and forth, it's a huge turn on. She actually played for the Spanish national basketball team, and our men's team had recently beat the Spanish men's team in the World Championships, which was a huge deal. So I told her that I could probably take her on in basketball, and we had a similar teasing back and forth. At the same time, she had that cute aura about her, and she was also very smart. Because you cannot make as good of money playing women's basketball as you can do with men's, she was not going to turn pro and instead was doing some kind of complicated bio degree. And for our first date, she actually took me to her favorite hot chocolate place here in Barcelona, which was a very romantic gesture. We dated for a few weeks, and I was happy to keep going if we kept it open, but she was against it, so it had to end. But I'm very happy that I met her. And honestly, she's one of the coolest girls with hands down the best humor that I've ever encountered. The second story, Fortune 500 marketing manager. So I ran into this girl while she was coming home from work. She had nice curly hair and she looked great in her tight blue jeans. She was very surprised that I approached her, but in a positive way, so we met up for a drink a few days later. She was very curious about the situation and me approaching her, because she usually met guys in online dating apps, so she actually came out with me due to curiosity. She slowly opened up and shared that actually her last few dates hadn't gone that well. One guy was super weird and awkward, and the other guy was judging her for working so hard, and I was obviously intimidated by her work position. The girl lived on the outskirts of Barcelona, and one day I actually got to visit her small town. She picked me up in her car, showed me around her hometown, and then we went to Mercadona, which is a Spanish grocery shop, to buy ingredients to make pizza in her apartment. And of course, since she works so much, she had a tight neck and back, so a massage was a must. It was really an awesome day with great conversation, and I have great memories of that day. Overall, she was a very sweet and lovely girl, and I hope she's doing well. Story number 3, American Ivy League lawyer. So this girl was doing a solo trip here in Barcelona, and I met her on her last day. She had beautiful blonde hair and blue eyes and a great tan, so I needed to talk to her. The funny thing was that I was actually out with a friend of mine who was actually going home. So when I approached this girl, I told her, well, look, I'm actually out with a friend of mine, but he's going home, so let me say bye to him and we go for a drink. And she said yes. So we went to a bar, and it was definitely an interesting date. She explained to me how the law works differently in Europe and in USA, and I was obviously curious to hear more details on the Trump trial that her company was involved with. And when I heard her salary, I almost spit out my drink. Even though she was very chatty, she was quite shy when it came to flirting, which is something that I've actually noticed with North American women. She asked me if all European men went about dating like I did, because it felt very different to her usual experiences in America, where you chit-chatted about work for 2 hours and then the guy asked her if she wanted to sleep with him. Her words, not mine. And this girl was very interesting because she did end up coming home with me, but she was not sure about going all the way. And I found out that it was actually because she had a fear of being judged. Apparently, she had hooked up with some guy on the first date, and he had made her feel like SL star T. I also found out that no guy had ever given her an orgasm, which was quite surprising because she had had a boyfriend and slept with multiple guys. I thought it would be an interesting challenge. So I told her, look, forget about sex. Let me just try to make you come. To what she said that she thought it would probably not be possible, but she was open to trying. And all I did was just ask her what she liked. A question that she hadn't been asked by a single guy, which just blew my mind. And it worked. And obviously after that, she wanted to have sex. Then I walked her back to her hotel at 4 a.m. and wished her a safe flight back home. And when I go to New York someday, I hope to see her again. And the fourth story, pro masseuse. I met this girl on a cold, dark evening, and she agreed to meet me another day, but only as friends because she had recently broken up with her boyfriend and didn't really want to date. In these situations, I usually employ the seductive amigo frame, where I basically act as a very flirty friend. I even made a specific video about this, so if you get a girl that tells you that you can go out only as friends, you can check out the video video in description on what to do in that situation. Anyways, we met up a few times, and once she took me to her favorite tea place, which was actually a very cool venue that I'd never discovered here in Barcelona. It was also funny to hear her stories of her clients who constantly requested her to do this special massage. The stories were funny, but also at the same time very creepy. And I was surprised how some of her clients who were very wealthy and serious guys at the same time would try to get her out in such immature and ineffective ways. We met up a few times and eventually slept together, and I had the honor to give her a massage, which she rated as 7 out of 10. And I don't know if she was being polite or it was real, but either way, I was quite surprised to get that score from a pro masseuse. So these are just a few stories from my dating life over the past year. And I just want to illustrate what kind of women you can date and what kind of experiences you can have when you go out and approach women in real life. And as I said in the beginning, there's nothing special about me apart from the fact that I learned solid dating social skills and simply took a lot of action. And I also want to inspire you to seek out these kind of experiences, as you don't need to be famous or a billionaire to date these kind of women. And yes, you can meet them on the street. Also, I want to add that this is a lot more than just having casual sex with women, because with many of these women, I truly connected on an emotional level, and I had many chances to enter a classic monogamous relationship if that's something that I'd wanted to do. For me, these are the kind of experiences and connections that give my life that vibrant color and that I'll cherish the most. And when I'm on my deathbed, which hopefully is a very long time away, I'll remember these women and the experiences that I shared with them with a smile on my face. I hope it inspires you to go out and take action. Life is short, so don't waste it.